Something fundamental is shifting in the Middle East region. After decades of US dominance, the region is fragmenting, not into chaos, but into a new kind of order. It's not the kind you read about in the headlines or hear in the press. It's something much deeper. It's the slow rebalancing of power. From Iran's nuclear ambitions to Turkey's regional activism to the Gulf states, which are recalibrating their ties with China and Israel, all the way to America's quiet or not so quiet step back from the region, isolationism, America first, all of that. All of this has a logic to it, a pattern. And it's one that international relations scholars and theorists and strategists have known for centuries. And it's called the balance of power theory. In this video, I'm going to break down what that theory actually means, how it's playing out today, and why it helps us explain where the Middle East might be heading next. Because what's coming next is never random, it's structural. And if we want to understand the next decade, this is a fantastic place to start. So what does balance of power actually mean? At its core, it's very simple. When one country becomes too strong, others start to push back. Not necessarily with force, but through alliances, arms transfers, strategic hedging. The goal isn't always peace or war, it's just stability through equilibrium. And this logic is actually playing out right now. Iran just took a major hit. After the 12-day war, its nuclear program is severely damaged, and its proxies across the Middle East, whether it's Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, they're all highly debilitated. But here's where the balance of power kicks in. A weakened Iran doesn't just collapse quietly. Other players, Russia, China, even Pakistan, start to step in. Not because they're best friends with Iran, but because they don't want to see it collapse and get pulled back into Washington's orbit. This is how balance works. When one side dips, others start to lean in. It's less about ideology and economy, it's more about preventing any single camp from dominating the rest. And then there's the United States. For decades, Washington was the undisputed power in the Middle East, and some could argue that it still is, deploying troops, brokering peace deals, shaping outcomes. But that era is potentially ending. Quietly, deliberately, the United States is trying, at least for the moment, to step back. Not out, but to offshore. Rather than dominate the region directly, the US is reverting to what some realists call an offshore balancer role. That means letting regional players check each other while intervening only if a single power gets too strong or if one of the United States' allies, like Israel, is attacked directly. We saw this logic at work during the 12-day war. The US did not stop Israel from striking Iran. It didn't rush to anyone's side immediately, but it also didn't let the conflict spiral out of control. Instead, Trump, likely with the back-channel help from the Pentagon and some Gulf allies like Oman, brokered a ceasefire that kept the region from tipping over completely. This is balance of power in practice. Don't dominate, just manage. Keep the system unstable enough to be flexible, but stable enough to avoid complete collapse. What we're seeing now is a return to realism, a region where no single state, not Iran, not Israel, perhaps not even the United States soon, can call the shots alone. Iran is severely weakened, but not gone. Saudi Arabia is hedging between Washington and Beijing, Turkey is asserting itself again, and behind the scenes, Russia and China are making quiet moves to shape the outcomes without getting involved too heavily themselves, trying to mimic what the US has been doing for decades now. This is the new Middle East, multipolar, transactional, and deeply realist. The old rules are gone, but the logic is still there. And if we want to understand what's coming next, we need to keep watching the balance, not just the battles. If you want more grounded, realist analysis like this, not just the headlines, then subscribe to Mackinder Insights. Thanks for watching.